Yo, what is good, my Atlanta Raichu fans? We have another amazing battle on our way. It's probably the nuttiest battle I have ever played, and you are about to see why. And it just happens to be in the quarterfinals against the what's this team's name? Suffolk Skuntanks, I think that's what they're called. But yeah, so he leads off with the Tapu Koko, and I lead off with my Heatran. And I was really debating if I had wanted to go for the Stealth Rock here, or if I should just switch out safely into the Gligar, expecting a Volt Switch. But he actually switches hard into the Porygon 2, and so I just go into the Gligar, and I'm like, okay, all right, that's cool. I'm fine with this matchup. I'm going to Toxic it, and then just Toxic Solid out till it dies. And so I Toxic this thing, and he ends up going for the Ice Beam, and this is going to hurt a lot. A lot. But you know, I was thinking, okay, so I have a couple of options. I can either switch out, or I can Roost and just see if that'll be enough to stall it out. And it's effective because I can just lose the Flying type each time I Roost, and he would only hit me for 50% of the damage of what he would have done. And if it was going to kill for that whole 100% of my health, then I would have already been dead in the first place. So I was like, oh, you know what? Even if I'm living on like 1 HP, I'm fine with it. But I get frozen. The hacks. You know, it comes back to bite me because I actually froze him in the very first game that we had in the regular season. I froze his Mega Scizor, and that was actually kind of big, but at the same time, I kind of had that matchup sealed away. But anyways, I don't thaw out, so he kills me. And so, yeah, this Porygon 2 is actually about to die. And so I send in my Alolan Ninetales. And what the hell? I don't have Hail up? What's going on here? Yeah, I kind of wanted to shoot myself because this is actually my fault. I sent the gen into the guy who gens it for me, Wes. Shout out to you, buddy. And yeah, I ended up typing in Snow Cloak instead of Snow Warning. Well, it was actually because I imported it from Showdown. And yeah, so anyways, I skipped out when I swapped in Heatran on the Flare Blitz, and then I knew his Arcanine could not touch me, so I just went for the Stealth Rock. And, well, I didn't know for certain because it could have had close combat, but that was a chance I took because I figured, well, if it was a similar set of thing he ran last time, then he would have had to get rid of like extreme speed for the close combat, and I don't think he would have really wanted to do that. And so the reason I went for Magma Storm on this Toxapex is so I could trap it, so it wouldn't be able to get a Regenerator boost once I start killing this thing. And I can take a stall, that's fine. And I was actually kind of lucky that he went for Toxic Spikes first turn, because it just allowed me to trap it. I don't think he was expecting me to trap this thing, but hey, I will take it. And so now we're just going to Earth Power this thing to death. So right now, Heatran is putting in the work, all right? We've already killed Toxapex, and that is huge because I think that was one of his walls that he expected would have been around for a big majority of the game. And he's going to get his special attack boost off. And you know what? At this point, I'm like, Heatran, it's cool. Let's just blow this thing back because he didn't bring the Donphan. I was so happy he did not bring the Donphan. It was unbelievable. I was so happy he didn't bring the Donphan or the Miss Mages, because both of those were going to be huge threats, because anytime the Donphan's out, Earthquake, it hits my whole team except Gligar. And then if I send Gligar, he's just going to hit knockoff. And then if I switch out Gligar, then something's going to lose an item. And so it was just going to be a nasty switch out affair. And I didn't want to take a fighting type move or any super effective move for that matter that was going to hit Heatran. So I switch out into the now very expendable Alolan Ninetales. And yes, there is still no hail on the field, guys. And yeah, by the way, that was... I hit Aurora Veil that one other turn because I thought there was hail up. But there was no hail up. And yeah, so now he sends in his Scizor. And I just go for the Moonblast. In case he had wanted to stay in for whatever reason. And at this point, I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm just going to let this thing die. And if I can get a freeze off, sweet. If not, it's all good. Because I was not going to risk switching in Heatran and then he's just going to hit a fighting type move and that would just be the end of Heatran. So we're going for freezes here. He's going for Defog. Good move on his end. But that also gets rid of his Toxic Spikes. So that actually was good for my team as well. So you know what? We both benefited from him burning a move. That's all good. So he's going to withdraw the Scizor. And by the way, I actually wanted him around that health too, because that was going to be in range for Greninja to kill it if that matchup presented itself. So I'm going to go for the Freeze Dry. If I freeze him, sweet. Then he's going to have to go for a Fire move, and then I would be able to switch in Heatran, and then it would have worked out. So Alolan Ninetales is about to faint here. Just get another freeze off. Let it just do what it can. And I think this thing has crunch for the Reuniclus, because otherwise this thing would not be able to just inflict even a smidgen of damage on it. So, you know, it's all good. So I send in Greninja, and I'm actually expecting him to switch here, so I go for the substitute. But he stays in and goes for a Flare Blitz? Like, what is going on, John? Like, because if he swapped on that move, then I basically would have had game, like, at that moment. But I guess he might have thought that I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. But you know what? I'm like, all right, fine. You know that I'm setting up subs, so I'm just going to go for the Hydro Pump, because you can't afford to let me set up my sub. So, in a sense, that was the mind game I played with that thing. And here, I thought Greninja did his part, that I can let this thing go down. It's okay. I have enough ammunition. So I'm going to get as much damage off. So we hit it once. We hit it twice. We hit that 3 times. We hit that 4 times. And we hit that 5 times. Oh my gosh. That was the most clutch thing Greninja has done for me all season. Like straight up all season. That was insane. And he was actually confused here because he thought he was going to outspeed, because he was like, did your Greninja get a stat boost? And I just wasn't paying attention. I was like, nah, man. It was just, you know, the Water Shuriken is +1 priority, and I just ended up lucking out on that with that much damage. And so I go for the Sucker Punch here because I could afford to go for Sucker Punch. He thought I might have set up a Sword Stance, but I didn't even need to set up a Sword Stance because I could kill either of his remaining Pokemon with just one move from Mega Mawile, whether it was Play Rough or Fire Fang. And he goes for the Bullet Punch, and that did a lot. But my Fire Fang, it hits, and that's the end of Mega Scizor, Battle of the Megas, and Mega Mawile won. So now he sends in his Como, and I go for Play Rough. I mean, there's no need for me to swap out into anything at this point, because this is his last Pokemon. And so, yeah, if he set up a Dragon Dance while I swapped out, that would have been really bad. So, you know, no need to get fancy with it. Just do my damage, and we're just going to kill it. So he goes for the Earthquake again, and I'm going just for Psyshocks. And he actually didn't have a Dragon-type move on this thing. So that actually worked out in my favor as well. Well, you know, it even if he had a dragon type move, it probably would have done 50% max if it was like an outrage. So he's just going for earthquakes here. The other two moves he had were poison jab and drain punch. That's it. So we finish off the Como, and that is game. Good game to Midnight Wolf. I know he put a lot of time into preparing for this game, and his team builder was actually 40 minutes long, which is ridiculous. Like, this team builder I had for him was only 10 minutes long, because like that's just usually how long team builders are. So, but with that win, the Atlanta Raichus are now going to take on the St. Louis Charizards in the semifinals. And this is actually a game that's kind of intimidating because he has a really strong core. The Fini, the Zarda X, and the Landorus. Like, that is one of the most intimidating cores like ever. And because of that core, like, it's just going to be really hard to take him down. But I think I have a pretty solid plan out. Like, I've actually been thinking about this team for quite a while, because there was a good chance that I would either play Hef in the quarterfinals or in the semifinals. So I had a team prepared, and it's looking good. It's looking spicy. Like, I think we have a really good chance of getting to the finals, and I actually think the finals match will be less difficult than the semifinal match, just because of the nature of the competition in the Ultra Sun division in comparison to the Ultra Moon division. So really hoping we pull out a W here. So thank you guys for watching. You can check out my opponent's channel in the description below, and be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. I really want to hear you guys' thoughts all the time. So, like, feel free to comment. I'll definitely comment back, or I'll like what you say, one or the other. But anyways, guys, thank you guys for watching. You've been a pleasure to entertain. So with that being said, your coach for the Atlanta Raichus Playmaker is out of here. Pieces, everyone.